And they couldn't be any clearer, could they? Our expert panel will have special coverage of the budget tonight after the 100 with Andy Lee. Now, we suspect this is a first, a media desk set up in the gutter outside a council meeting. The volunteer journos from one of our oldest newspapers have been warned to stay out or the police will be called. Why? They've been labelled a safety hazard.
3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
We were just flabbergasted.
What did you do?
Turned up and breathed, apparently.
Hawkesbury, we have a problem.
This is not Viktor Orban's Hungary. This is not Vladimir Putin's Russia.
The rockets are flying.
Council's own progno just told me to off.
Merely them coming in and sitting in the chamber is a psychosocial challenge for your staff.
It's been identified as a risk, yes.
It's the local journos in council sites.
I've never heard of a local council banning the press and the radio.
And even we're keeping our distance this time.
General Manager, we're on the footpath.
This meeting is no longer safe for those of us who are sitting in this as a workplace.
There's more going on in the Hawkesbury than Hawkesbury City Council, but at the moment they're taking up all the oxygen.
Forget the editorial meeting. This one's more an emergency hearing.
Our advice is that we're banned from council premises, and that includes the libraries, the swimming pools.
The Hawkesbury Gazette is an independent, community-run newspaper.
Bob Gribben, I'm a retired resident.
I help deliver Gazette.
Staffed by volunteers. It's one of the great survivors servicing Sydney's far northwest since 1888. Corinne Sheaves is co-publisher. Now, in those 138 years, have you ever been banned by a council?
Oh, look, we look back through the archives and no, there's no evidence of anybody being banned.
Talk about a headline. It sounds like you lot have been working on a current affair. What's going on? You wouldn't read about it. Hawkesbury Council's called this lot a safety risk to its staff. You've been called a psychosocial hazard in the workplace.
I'm sure work cover's concerned about that. And we can't say anything. We're just sitting there taking notes.
And they're not alone. The only other media outlet in town's been warned off too.
Welcome to Hawkesbury Radio Online.
Hawkesbury Radio's Sean Carroll.
They haven't contacted anyone with a safety matter.
He just said to me, F off.
Enough. We're here to do a job.
If you can't tell, this ratepayer-funded establishment has a few issues.
If anybody's in a situation where they feel uncomfortable.
At 76, Mayor and Chair Les Sheether has one hell of a job. If councillors aren't taking aim at each other, it's at the media for reporting it. In fact, they had a problem with the late Hawkesbury Post too. The police even called.
It does often feel like we're on some sort of a soap opera.
But it's safe to report the last few months out here have been especially challenging.
The little bit on council that's been published related to their 40% rate rise, something like 5,000 objections. Then we had the General Manager receiving a pay rise, being paid more than the Premier of New South Wales. You know, we've had the General Manager leave with a golden handshake of $340,000.
Just hearing that, I've got a lot of questions, but I reckon everyone at home's got a lot of questions, let alone the ratepayers of the Hawkesbury.
Yes, that's right.
Forget roads, rates and rubbish. This council issued a public statement telling the Gazette and Hawkesbury Radio that it's no longer welcome at council meetings.
You can see how people will see this as an attempt to silence the critics or change the coverage of your council, can't you?
I'm not going to allow that perception to influence my decision to ensure that I'm providing a safe workplace for my staff.
It cheapens the safety laws. To use them like this, you make a mockery of people who have been killed on site.
They can still submit, as all media organisations can do, requests for comment and statements and requests for interviews.
That's what we did. The GM told us he was too busy for an interview, so we asked again for the next day. We've now been waiting 5 days for a reply. Maybe we should have just asked the Prime Minister. Thank you. In fairness though, even the town clock's stuck.
What are they hiding?
This is the day when fascism comes to local government.
Is the Hawkesbury Gazette a psychosocial hazard?
No. I think several of my colleagues might represent psychosocial hazards.
Councillor Nathan Zamprogno has called a motion to overturn the ban.
If your problem is with the accuracy of a media organisation's reportage, then you should be engaging with them, not banning them.
While the meetings are live streamed, nothing beats face-to-face.
General Manager, don't be afraid. We've just got some questions.
But there is some good news. The local government minister's asking the tough ones too.
Get on with your job. Stop picking on people. Get rid of your bullying, toxic culture.
We'll continue to ask those questions, even if it's from the footpath out the front of the council chambers.
That is a lot, hey? And we asked Safe Work New South Wales if it was aware of any issues. The answer was no. But here's another solution. Just sack the councillors. Sack them all. Well, when Mason stood before his PAG school assembly, he knew what he was about to say would be tough for some to hear. It was a deeply personal speech by the school captain. The boys listened, but a few years on, the work's far from done. He's asking young men to once again step up.